MURPs, LURPs, BURPs. What are they? Who are they? Why are they? How are they? I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about MURPs, LURPs, and BURPs, and also rock panels in this video here today. And I got to tell you, I actually really like these things. I'm going to show you how much I like them right now. Boom! Got a big old box of them right here. Oh no! They're spilling everywhere. This is 60 of the rectangular rock panel that is 4 by 10 by 6. And this one here is known as the BURP. What do BURPs, LURPs, and MURPs all have in common? The U. And what does the U stand for? Ugly. That's right. These are big ugly rock panels, medium ugly rock panels, and large ugly rock panels. I've got a special project plan for all of these guys here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about using them, and I'm also going to show you some examples on how I use the big ugly rock panels, medium ugly rock panels, and also large ugly rock panels, known as BURPs, LURPs, and MURPs. Now, the ones that we normally get are these ones here. These are the rectangular ones. Like I said, they're 4 by 10 by 6, and these are BURPs. The other ones that I most commonly use here in the Lego room are actually the MURPs, which are the corner ugly rock panels. And they are medium sized, so they're 8 by 8 by 6. And these pair up beautifully with your BURPs to create a nice corner. So BURPs and MURPs can be used perfectly to create many different things in a Lego city or in a mock format. One that I don't really use too often is the LURP, which is the large ugly rock panel. And this one here is 3 by 8 by 7, and it's triangular shape. Now these things have like a hollow back, and let's face the fact, I just threw it on the ground because it's pretty ugly. So you can use these in a lot of different ways, and I'm excited to show you some of the different ways that we use them here in the Lego room. And there's actually one other one that we use as well, and this is just your standard rock panel, and this one's actually 2 by 4 by 6. Now this one here is actually trans clear. You can see through it, but you can get these in dark bluish gray and many other different colors as well. So I've got 60 of the BURPs, the big ugly rock pieces, and we're going to be starting a project with these relatively soon. I'm excited to do that. They're pretty marked up actually. They're shipped in this big loose bag, and I ordered that from BAP, which is Bricks and Pieces on lego.com. It's actually a different area where you can go on their site. You can do it through the pick a brick section, or you can do it through the bricks and pieces section, which is right where you go to order your missing pieces. If you have any missing pieces from a Lego set and you need to replace them, that's actually where you can order these in bulk. And I ordered 60 of them because we're going to do a huge project. So let's show you some of the things that I've done to transform ugly rock panels into some pretty cool looking stuff here in the Lego room. I most commonly use a combination of BURPs and MURPs. BURPs being the rectangular rock pieces, or the big ugly rock pieces, and MURPs being medium ugly rock pieces, or the corner ones. So this is how you can pair up two MURPs to make a nice corner, and then of course you can extend that corner using a BURP like that there. And that's exactly what I've done right here. And this is probably the best example of the usage of these parts in the Lego room right now. So this is actually that. And you can see I've added hundreds of pieces to it, mostly being dark bluish gray slopes with a few light bluish gray cheese wedges, dark bluish gray cheese wedges, then some bamboo bushes, a snake maybe, a fisherman, and all sorts of cool elements. And then from there, the BURPs take over and they go all the way down here. And you can see I've also topped the top of these rock panels with dark bluish gray plates. So I've got one on this side, one on the other side, and then I throw a connection over the top of it using a dark bluish gray plate. And I used a bunch of tiles here to create a boardwalk right by our boat dock area. But you can just see how these things are a great way to build a base structure and then sort of elevate the detail from there using hundreds of slope and cheese wedge elements from your Lego inventory. And it's a great way to add some sophisticated detail, whether it be to a MOC, a castle MOC, or a beach, or a boat dock area, or even maybe an undersea area here. You can see I've used a great combination of them here. And actually inside you can see I've hidden some of those smaller rock panels as well, right there. And this one here actually uses more so a lot of the MURPs, or the corner elements, as it goes around this pole here. So there's actually 4 corner elements, and then a rectangular one in the middle, and then it just sort of builds up from there. And on the very top we'll have 4 corner elements that sort of just wrap around the pole. So I use these to create some pretty cool looking stuff, and I can't wait to continue using them as we move forward into the future. And in fact, I used some today, and I'm going to show you what I plan on doing with all 60 of those. Now, the 4x2x6 rock panel I recently used to build a little fence here in the amusement park. And I don't mind it because it almost looks like a fake rock wall. And I've actually done that a lot in my previous layouts as well. And if you put 2 of them back to back, it leaves a little 2x2 spot there in which you can tie them together or clip them together using a 2x2 brick. And it creates a nice little wall there. Looks sort of artificial, and as you can see, they come in all sorts of different colors, and I've used dark bluish gray here. So what do I plan to do with all these bad boys right here? That is a lot of them. I'm going to build a giant cliff edge that goes around the base of our Ninjago platform, just so it hides that height elevation. And then hopefully I'm going to use even more of them in behind there and create a mountain in behind the Ninjago platform, so that we can have water trickling down from the mountain using various waterfalls and pooling down around the base of the Ninjago platform. So I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how I plan on using the MURPs and also the BURPs to create a pretty cool looking rock edge. Now the cool thing is these integrate pretty seamlessly. You can see the studs sort of line up. What I typically would do is there's an open stud on the bottom here, so I usually just fill that in. It's going to give you another 1x2 point of connection there. You'll see that there's another one here, and if I plan on connecting this with another one, I'll always stick a 2x2 brick right there. And that's going to allow you to connect this one right to it, like so. And then when you line this up with your corner element, you'll see that it starts to form a rock wall. Now you'll see that right up here there's a 2x2 spot in which you want to place a 2x2 brick. Oops. And you want to do that over here as well. You can have it hang off a bit, or you can have it more forward, or you can use a slope or whatever you'd like. Now to build up, what you want to do is you want to fill in this 2x6 area here. All I have is 1x6s, but that's okay. I'm just going to use 2 of those, and I'm going to fill that in like so. And then you can take your next one, remember to fill in your bottom, and also connect it with a 2x brick. Don't have one on me, I'll just use 2 1x's. There we go. And place that together like so. And then you'll be able to place this one on top of this one here. Now there is going to be a little bit of a gap there that has to be filled in, so I guess we could slide that brick forward and just sort of make it work. I usually have it back 1 stud off the front, because if you put it all the way forward, you'll see there's this big awkward space right here that has to be filled. So if you bring it back 1, it lines up pretty seamlessly, and you'll be able to start creating a rock edge. You might want to throw a 1x2 here, just like that there, and then boom, you've got a pretty cool rock edge starting to be formed. And what's going to happen is I'm going to use actually 9 of these per section of the cliff edge that I'm going to be building, because these are actually 1 base plate. When you put 3 of them together, essentially, it's just 2 studs off, and then I'm going to build them 3 tall. And we're going to build a rock edge that's going to go all the way up to the top of the cliff edge there. So that's how I plan on covering up that Ninjago area. And what I'm going to do is make sure it's secure. You could even add some pillars in the background so it supports them up. But for the most part, there's lots of points of connection. And that's why we put those elements on the bottom there, so that there's lots of points of connection between each of the rock panels. And eventually you just create this really cool cliff edge, and then you'll see all these different spots here in which you can throw slopes on. And I always say, the more pieces you use in a scenario like this, the better off you are, because it's just going to make it look more complex and look really cool. And you can even, you know, add a 2x4 brick on the bottom and build it out more just to make it look even, because face the fact, these are pretty ugly. So essentially for me, it's just trial and error. I'll put these things together and just sort of slap them together and make sure they work. And it's about using all the right sort of pieces to make sure it's blended in seamlessly and smoothly so that it looks fantastic. You might even want to have a little bit of an overlap between the pieces so that when you put them together, there's a slight overlap and it looks a little bit different. But you just sort of build up and up and up and away you go. And I really like the MURPs and BURPs. They're amongst my favorite Lego pieces because they can provide a nice base structure for cliff edges or waterfalls or mountains or caves or platforms or Disney castle platforms or anything that you want to build or elevate off the ground. The MURPs and BURPs are just fantastic for helping you achieve that. That's really about it for today. Just wanted to share maybe a little bit of insight on what I think about these awesome Lego pieces. Let me know what you think by comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. Stay tuned.